Listen, my alarm didn't go off at 5 a.m. today. I didn't want it to. It went off at 7:30, which I loved. And anyway, have to do the things. Couldn't do the things in time. Here we are. Hope you're having a great morning, everybody. It is beautiful outside, but geez Louise, it is too cold for me. Stella's going to have to figure out how to go outside in the chill. I'll tell you that much. It is a beautiful Wednesday morning. It is March the 20th. Rise and shine, everybody. This is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week-ish at 8 o'clock-ish to chat about the weather, see what's doing this morning. There are y'all better be bundled up. There are people out and about enjoying the beaches this morning. It's gorgeous. That's a shot from our Tower Cam network over New Smyrna Beach. Look at that. Everybody's walking the beach. It's a little chilly. It's just a little chilly for me. All right. First warning, live Doppler radar. I see interference, but no rain. Look at these temperatures, y'all. First day of spring, and it's this. What is happening? Man, 39 right now in Ocala, 44 in the Villages. It's 46 in Daytona Beach, 48 in Titusville, 52 in Kissimmee. Yeah, my brother with all the jokes. That's brisk, baby. It's brisk. That is brisk. Confirmed, it is brisk. It is chilly outside. All right, so that's where we're at right now. 30s, 40s, and some 50s. Where are we heading today? 50s, 60s, and we do actually warm into the 70s. So it's going to be a lovely day. Just have it a little chilly out, right? And I felt that it was a perfect day to wear. This is my Santa Claus palm trees. I was like, I felt like this was a perfect day to wear the Santa Claus palm trees shirt because it's winter, but it's actually spring. Cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria. What is happening outside right now? Like, what? Man. Little chilly outside. So, bright sunshine. It's going to be a beautiful day. Here's a look at our high temperatures around Central Florida today. It does look gorgeous. 75 is where we're headed in Orlando today. Average high temperature 79. So we'll be in the ballpark, right? 75 as well in Sanford, 71 Daytona Beach, 75 degrees in Wildwood. Beautiful air over top of us. Beautiful weather for us. We're looking good. We kind of check in on the broader perspective. It is going to, after this morning, we start to warm things up, right? Milder air in place this afternoon. Looking good. That high pressure kind of hanging out, getting milder for tomorrow. It's looking gorgeous. But see that stuff out west, out now near Texas and Louisiana? Keep your eyes on that. Because by Friday, yeah, all of that stuff moves our direction. Showers, thunder showers. It's going to be we'll just say it's going to be an interesting weather day. And then after that, little front kind of sneaks on through and clears us out. So let's just kind of get a lay of the land on the 7-day forecast, and then we can look back at Friday. Okay? So for now, today, beautiful tomorrow. Another cool morning, but we're back into the lower 80s. Friday, a 70% coverage of showers and storms. And I see people asking about Friday. I'm going to get into that. We're going to go deep dive. We're going to deep dive it, all right? But let's just kind of lay it all out. Then for our Saturday, Sunday, a little bit of a temperature drop off, right? Like not bad, not cold, but beautiful. And then into next week, like perfect as, at least as I head back to work, my kids head back to school, the temperatures climb. That's going to be the real spring break, unfortunately. So for those of us that are doing, spring break this week, it's the Clash of the Titans, right? All right, so let's talk about this thing coming, all right? So we've got this storm system Thursday into Friday moving our direction. For now, Friday, perhaps into Saturday, very heavy rain is going to be the biggest concern. But the question is, do we see this thing head a little further north, or do we see this thing head a little further south? Because that's really the difference in a lot. So, for example, okay, if it goes further north, which is what the cycling part of the pattern would have us lead us to believe, if it heads further north, we could be watching for a severe threat in Central Florida. If it heads further south, more than likely we're just looking at a bunch of rainfall. And either way, there's a bunch of rainfall. Let's take a look at first the amount of rain. Hold on. Somebody broke this graphic because they always flipping do. I don't understand why my colleagues, I don't know which one, somebody keeps breaking this graphic. Okay, let's look at, before we look at the actual models, let's look at the rainfall accumulation, and you're going to see a big difference, right? So notice the American GFS is showing 3 to 5 inches of rain in many locations, 2 to 3 inches of rain in many locations, whereas on the left, the European is showing like a half inch or less, right? So, we're not in agreement with the models. Now let's look at let's look at the zoomed in model and just kind of get an idea of where we're at. All right. So here's Friday morning, 6 a.m. Showers already sneaking into town. 10 a.m. watching some rains. European definitely wetter than the GFS model, right? Lunchtime, heavy pockets of rain, but the GFS is seemingly wanting to bring in the heavier stuff right there. You see that? And I think that that's going to be the time frame that we'll have to watch to see, is there the stronger stuff, the severe threat, right? And then after Friday, watch it all kind of starting to clear out. And then into Saturday morning, European is trying to bring in more. So that's a look at we make the models pretty for TV. That's the pretty TV stuff. Let's look at our Futurecast model and get an idea of what it's trying to say. And then we're going to go into the raw model data, right? So here's Wednesday, nothing. It's gorgeous. Thursday, looking gorgeous, right? Friday, adding the clouds and the rain. 7 a.m., already rain. I'm going out of town today, and then we're going to come back Friday morning. Based on this, it's going to be a crummy drive back. All right. And then into the afternoon Friday, Futurecast is trying to show there, right? That late afternoon, evening thunderstorms marching in. And then into Saturday morning, that's as far as it goes. That's regular Futurecast. Let's look at beta Futurecast. We'll roll through time. Wednesday's looking good. Thursday's looking good. There's Friday morning, some showers. But look at how the big swath of stuff comes in the afternoon. And notice how beta Futurecast is trying to popcorn up some storms into the early afternoon. And that's as far out as beta goes. It doesn't go any further out. So, model to model, run to run, the models are not dialed into things, we'll say yet. So let's do this then. Let's look at, first, let's look at SIPS. If you're unfamiliar with what SIPS is a kind of a way that we look at severe weather threats, right? And SIPS, right off the bat, showing a what would be a marginal risk for strong to severe storms in Central Florida. That's what that 10% delineates. And I would add that the Storm Prediction Center has put parts of the peninsula under that level 1 or marginal risk for strong to severe storms. It just happens to not be our area. What they're thinking is that the energy kind of focuses into the South Florida area or like the Sun Coast, okay? Kelly says, does your shirt have Santa on it? Wrong season, bro. Bro, it's cold outside. This is the perfect season for it. It's palm trees and Santa showing up. All right. So most of the stronger energy, according to the SPC, is going to be down to South Florida. But let's look at the model data together and kind of get an idea. So first off, where does the low go? All right. All right. So high pressure moving out. This is the GFS. It's kind of a mess. It's wanting to almost develop a low in South. You see that? Like it wants to develop a low around South Florida. So the GFS is trying to show a low forming in South Florida and then this moving out. That could happen. The cycling part of the pattern would dictate that probably shouldn't happen. Same time frame. Let's look at the European. The European is going further north, right? With the low kind of up around the panhandle and then lifting north. So, that definitely plays a little more to what we would expect. Yeah. Canadian just for fun. Canadian is further north. Yeah. So, interesting. Now, this is the GFS. If we go back a run on the GFS, this is the 0Z, still with the South Florida low, 2 runs ago. It's a mess. So, but it's a mess. It's a mess, but it's wanting to develop a low over South Florida. So it'll be interesting to see what ends up happening there. The European, let's just compare model runs. Go back a model run. Yeah, so they're trying to figure it out, but they're not as concise as they were, right? Like, I think that's a pretty clear indication. Yesterday when we were talking on Coffee Talk, the models were much more like centered and low, etc. Now it's just kind of a garbled mess and then maybe trying to develop something over the peninsula. So, interesting. Mickey's asking, is this the recycle of when South Florida got hurricane force wind gusts? No, it's not. So this is a recycle. This is a recycle of the October 30th storm system. So 15 days from now, 15-ish days from now, be around April 4th. That's the recycle of that storm system. So let's just go to the GFS and see. I don't think that the GFS goes out that far, but we can check. Oh, it's because it's that view. Hold on. Why are we being a goober? There we go. Okay. All right. 6Z. Yeah, the 4th. It's too far out for the GFS to really get it. But around the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, in that window, that's the one. Yeah, that's the one. So, for me, if I'm honest with you, the areas that I'm watching for this low, at least according to that cycling, are going to be more further north and then into the Carolinas. But we'll see how it works. Kelly called me a millennial. Always finding ways. So that's kind of the pattern that it would dictate. We'll just have to wait and see, But I'm curious to see how this plays out. A couple of things. Remember, computer models are guidance, not gospel. But same with the cycling pattern. It's just guidance, not gospel. So we have to watch and nowcast. So the threat of severe weather for now is in South Florida, but all of our area is at least under some sort of a low-end threat to see flooding. Here's the flood threat for Friday. The entire peninsula under that flooding threat. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now, for those making weekend plans, because I've seen a few people asking, Lady Fox over on YouTube, for example, I'm going to Kennedy Space Center on Saturday. Will it be wet? or will it be dry? We're going to have a few showers this weekend. It doesn't look to be too bad. I would not cancel plans. Yeah. Mickey, would the ensembles with the GFS or Euro help to figure out which way the low may go? Yeah, we can absolutely dial that in for sure. The ensembles, if you're new to this whole thing, which I love that you guys are dialed into it. So the ensembles, what is an ensemble? Think of it as like 31 different flavors of Baskin Robbins, right? So here's the ensembles. And the ensembles kind of wanting to show South Florida, right? If we look at the different ensemble members, GFS ensemble, multi-member, low locations. So there's actually, it's kind of interesting. You've got the first scenario. Okay, so let's back this up. So the first scenario is that the low forms early and those lows go further north. Then you've got other lows trying to form further south, right? So I think that that's kind of interesting how that plays out, right? So that's the GFS. GFS ensembles definitely want the lows to develop early north, and then if they are delayed, then they kind of back build into the southern part of the peninsula. Whereas the European, I mean, there's all the low locations. You've kind of got like two camps, right? You've got this South Florida camp and then this like riding the northern Gulf Coast camp. Isn't that interesting? Never a dull moment, y'all. Like, right? Never a dull moment. You've got the lows over to South Florida, then to the north. This is an interesting one. This is an interesting one. Yeah. Either way, we know that we're going to probably be getting some rain looking at our Friday. All right? So just plan accordingly. We'll be good to go. Right? That's all. That's all. Just, just plan for rain. You'll be good to go. Plan for those temperatures starting to warm. You'll be good to go. Today's high temperature into the 70s. Wait, no, that was... Yeah. Thank you. It took me a second. Today's high temperature into the 70s. Tomorrow's high temperature into the 80s. Yada, yada, yada. Cats and dogs living together. Mass hysteria. Chris, I saw your comments, but I was in the middle of talking. And I'm not, if I'm in the middle of a thought, I'm going to keep going. But yes, I could see your comments. Just because I don't respond to everybody doesn't mean that I'm not seeing your comments. It's just I'm not responding to every single one because if I'm talking, yada, 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 yada. Okay? All right. Traveling around the social media platforms. I saw your comments on X. Mike's asking if this is the first named storm. Slow down. Slow down. It is March. It is March. Okay. Temperatures, the ocean temperatures are coming up. All right, let's look at the sea surface temperatures. All right, you're asking about the water temperatures in the Gulf just for fun. We're not there. Okay. 80's the magic number. You've got some pockets of 80. But no. So slow down. Slow down. We're not talking about named storms just yet. We're just talking about some good old-fashioned showers and storms. I see you on YouTube now, Chris. Jesus. Oh, man. All right. So that's where we're at, people. Questions, comments, concerns? Be honest. You ignore us on purpose. Sometimes if I'm in the middle of a thought that I don't want to stop, then yes, I do. But it's not to be rude. It's just sometimes it's not the time. All right. Let's look at, give me a second. Let's come over here from CFS. Let's go to the European. Oh, the European is only available on Plus. I am not paying for it, so no. All right, GFS, METAR, KMCO. All right, forecast hour. So this is Thursday. Let's get through Thursday. Let's look at Friday. It's not that I don't want to support the site. There's only so many things I can pay for goodness sake. All right. Thursday. Let's get to Friday. 54. Friday at 6Z. Let's keep going. Friday at 9Z. So now we're into Friday morning. This is Friday 12Z. That's a pretty saturated air mass. There's a little bit of turning with height, right? I don't see much. I mean, look at that. Look at that dry air up top. I mean, pretty saturated air mass. Some turning with wind. We've got a little bit of wind up top. Or not up top, but in the middle. That's a really saturated air mass. That's rain. That's just rain. But with the turning, could there be the threat of an isolated tornado or something like that? Sure. But the GFS is a really saturated air mass. I see the turning, but nothing that's concerning. 12Z on Friday. All right, that's the GFS. Let's look at the NAM. I mean, I don't see much. I mean, there's definitely a turn. But I don't see anything. Yeah. Okay, so for those that have not been around for very long, what we're looking at here, this is super nerdy. Top left box, that's what's known as a skew-T log P diagram. So imagine the bottom line, okay, where it says -40, -30, -20, -10, that top left graph, that's the surface of the Earth. And then as you go up, that's with height. So imagine you launch this is computer model data, so this is a virtual weather balloon, okay? As you go up, the green line is the dew point. The red line is the air temperature, okay? So you're looking at dry air, moist air. You're looking at lapse rates. And then on the right, you see those wind barbs where it says LCL, LFC, EL. That's wind speed and wind direction with height. So all this is a computer model's idea of the state of the atmosphere. Top right, hodograph, and there's a bunch of other nerd stuff on here. When I'm looking at this, the idea is not really that you know a ton of what you're looking at. I've kind of explained it over the years to kind of explain how to read some of this. You can definitely get more by looking at reading a skew-T log P or by reading a hodograph. But this is the meteorological stuff we look at in the Weather Center. Okay? Not really seeing a significant severe weather threat for us. Now, if we go to Miami, what is it? RSW, that's Regional Southwest. That's Fort Myers area. It doesn't look huge. It's a really saturated envelope of air up top. Yeah, and if we go to KMIA, I'm just looking for Miami. Miami's a little feistier looking. Yeah, Miami's a little feistier looking. See some of that dry air there, about 850 millibars. Much more of a turn in the winds at the surface. So at least for now, you see that turn is much more dramatic. The storm slinky there is showing, nice. So yeah, definitely more dynamic for severe down south of us, at least as it stands right now. Okay. All right. 7-day forecast. Questions, comments, concerns, anything. Lucas says, wait, you mean you guys actually use models and don't take random guesses? Yeah. All right. Looks good. So showers and storms around Friday. We'll have to track to see how it goes. Otherwise, we've got a nice stretch of weather today and tomorrow, my friends. All right, my kids I hear them. They are ripping the house apart. They are ripping this house apart. Trish, this is the Big Bend to Carolinas low on the cycling. All right. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you for hanging out for Coffee Talk. See y'all later. Take care.